Blessings and welcome, my brothers and sisters, to the Law of One. I am Robert, humble messenger. Yes, I am concerned about the direction our people are going, especially those involved in the military-industrial complex, those working on weather modification, weather manipulation, so-called climate control. So I believe this topic we talk about now is important. Our question to QO: we understand from the raw contact that our neighboring planet, Mars, destroyed its biosphere, causing its third density population to need to be relocated. And now Mars, at least from our perspective, seems to be a planet void of biological life, barren and rocky. So I'm wondering what chain of events led to the destruction of Mars' biosphere. Did it occur in an instant, or was it gradual? How did the population respond to this destruction? We are QO, and we are aware of the query, my brother. To the extent that we can address this question through this instrument, both given the limitations that you are testing in this particular session of exploring knowledge beyond the bounds contained within the instrument, as well as the factor of free will, which is a factor in this scenario for the population that existed upon the planet that you call Mars, is indeed continuing to work with this catalyst upon your own planet and within your current density. For this reason, the answer must be veiled somewhat beyond even the bounds of what this instrument may respond to from his own knowledge. To speak about the timeline or time frame of such a destruction, one must consider the relative nature of time, in that from the perspective of the evolution of a planet, even within the bounds of third density, a momentary destruction from one perspective may indeed still be slow from a different perspective. For a matter of years is but a blink of an eye from the greater perspective of cosmic evolution. In this sense, we can say that the bellicose actions and the intention of aggression and harm between various populations on the planet of Mars led to a scenario in which there was a gradual decline in the biosphere due to literal destruction of the ecosystems. This gradual decline was exacerbated as energies escalated and weaponry and attitudes became far more destructive in nature as the desire for destruction grew. Thus, you may see a slow decline of both ecosystem and population for a matter of time that eventually concluded with a singular event that spawned a much quicker decline. That being what you would experience as a matter of months because of weaponry that disrupted a central aspect of the planetary ecosystem, being that life-giving force of water and the cycle of water. Through this disruption of the cycle of water, there was a chain of events that unfolded in which the ecosystem itself deteriorated, and the soul of the planet, as you may understand it, faded, thus resulting in a deterioration of what you would recognize as a magnetosphere, thus solidifying the lack of ability of life to again take grasp upon this planet. We reiterate that this catalyst of destruction is continuing to be processed and explored upon your own planet and within your own population. And you may draw correlations between what you witness upon your planet currently and its relationship to the planet as an ecosystem and what unfolded upon the red planet Mars. Is there a follow-up to this question, my brother? Very intriguing stuff, QO, thank you. Well, since we are able to gain some window into the Mars experience, the more fruitful avenue inquiry here would be to explore the ongoing use of that destructive catalyst. But I'll sidestep for a moment over to Mars's former neighbor, what Ra identifies as Maldek. According to Ra, that planet, Maldek, what we now know as the asteroid belt, the population of that planet literally exploded the planet and destroyed it. I can imagine what energies of bellicosity and division went into that, but I'm wondering how such an outcome came about. Through what mechanism or weaponry did they destroy a planet? And was this suicidal destruction, or was it an inadvertent outcome of the exercise of weaponry? We are QO and are aware of the query, my brother. We find the inquiry of whether this destruction was a self-conscious destruction that intended to destroy the planet of Maldek, or whether it was a circumstance of a lesser destruction, you may say, to be insightful and intriguing. And we believe that you may find inroads into exploring that intentional self-destruction that you have termed suicidal. Now, the type of what has been described as weaponry, while we may not explore this in a technological sense, may better be viewed as an exploration and a study of the inner workings of the planet itself, and how a population upon a planet's surface may influence the very dynamic, meaningful, and living processes beneath the surface of the planet, extending down deep to its very core. This was both a technological and a spiritual understanding that was gained that then allowed for the destruction of the planet itself. And the tendencies towards that suicidal notion were very much present in the inception of this destruction. We find that this instrument feels adequately exercised for this session, and we will now take our leave of this instrument. We are QO.